Hi everybody, how's everybody going? Welcome to the live today.
We have not come here to beg world leaders to care. You have ignored us in the past, and you will ignore us again. We have run out of excuses, and we are running out of time. Time and solutions within this system are impossible to find. Time. We should change the system.
Hi,
Hey, Domino.
how are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry, let me just get this in position here. Tell me if the music's too loud and if you can't hear me properly, and I'll turn it down.
I don't actually even really hear it.
Okay. Hi everybody. Thank you for joining. How are you doing? So is it Kumara?
Khromata.
Kumara. Okay, that's it.
Khromata.
Khromata. Okay.
Khromata. And I'll tell you what that name means later.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, welcome and thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
And yeah, so let's start with, so your real name is Alana?
Eileen.
And your DJ name is?
Khromata.
Khromata, okay. And where, I wanted to start, where are you originally from, Khromata?
So I'm from different places.
Okay.
I've lived all over. I consider myself originally from Bangkok, Thailand.
Okay.
Even though I was born in the US in California, I grew up from ages like 8 to 19 in Bangkok.
Okay.
So like my formative years, and then I moved back to the United States after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were born in?
I was born in the. I'm trying to adjust my.
That's okay.
Thing. I was born in the US.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereabouts in the US?
In Southern California.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then I wanted to know, ask you how it all started for you, the DJing and what was your inspiration? I mean, how old were you when you started getting into DJing? Hi, Mark.
Sure.
DJ.
Hi, Mark. Mark is the one that introduced me to you, and I did want to say before we started that I've really, really enjoyed your interviews over the past year. I've been watching so many of them, and they've been very insightful. And you, of course, are, and I use this word with Mark too, like this OG legend. So you're amazing too. So it's like super honored to be able to speak with you and have this conversation too.
Oh,
really
no
cool.
worries. That was funny because I was asking Mark what that meant. So I was like, does that mean I'm old? She's saying OG, old Goa. And he's like, well, actually it means old gangster. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm a gangster.
Yeah, original gangster. It's a term of respect.
Okay. Funny.
And there's Meguni's in there too, Megapixel. I see her in there. There you go. All right. So yeah, so it's back to answer your question. So when it started for me, so actually I started listening to like Goa trance at a pretty young age. Like I discovered it in 8th grade, so like age 13 and 14. Growing up in Bangkok, there was a lot of exposure to electronic music. Okay. So I discovered Goa trance like 97, 98, around that time, and I fell in love with it immediately. So I was listening to like electronic music in junior high and high school. So I was super into it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like really popular then at the time too, in Bangkok. I wanted to DJ at that age, but I didn't really have, since I was 13, but I didn't really have any way to do that. You know, back then there wasn't as much accessibility as there is now. So I wasn't able to do that. I didn't start DJing until 13 years later after that. So I started when I was 26.
When you're 26, okay.
So I started a lot later.
Yeah. Okay. What was some of your favorite artists back then, electronic music wise? when you
Yeah,
started?
so The Prodigy was a big one for me. I was like super into the Experience album and stuff. I was like, oh, this is because at that time like the Eurodance music was very popular,
Yeah.
like Ace of Base, which I love all of that.
Okay.
But like the first time I heard like really serious electronic music was when I heard The Prodigy. I was like, oh, this is something a little different. I used to listen to that all the time and stuff. And I listened to a lot of more. I listened to like the commercial kind of mainstream trance too, like a Paul Oakenfold, or
Yeah.
like DJ Quicksilver was the big one. But I was into what was popular then, like also the Chemical Brothers and stuff, just like and then with the Goa trance, I was into Hallucinogen, Shakta, like Infected Mushroom, like all those things that were coming up. And then as time went on, like I became like this super music nerd. Like it was super like I just became obsessed with music. So at that time already, I was like, had the brain of a DJ, just like really in-depth music knowledge. So by the time I started DJing, it was perfect because I already like had the musical knowledge ready to go. So
Okay. Okay. And then so like what got you into like DJing? I mean, you obviously you like did you go like trance parties and then think, oh, I want to DJ, or was it something else that triggered it? Like,
yes, and I just because I love the music so much. So before I even went to a party, I was already into the music. I was
yeah,
too young to go to parties, right? So my first real like
depends where you grow up.
you were in Goa, so maybe it's a little different, right?
Yeah, I was
For
going to
me,
parties when I was like tiny, so
yeah, I didn't start till I was like, I still went early compared to most people, like 14, 15.
yeah.
Like my first like Psytrance party was in Kaphangan in 2001. It was a New Year's Eve party. It was a Psytrance festival there. And they had, who was the lineup? It was like Sally Doolally, it was Kim, it was Space Tribe, it was a really nice lineup. And it was my first time going to like this festival. I was a senior in high school, and it was like, it blew my mind. I was like, I'm in this for life. Like, that's it. Like, I just have to, like,
Okay.
mark it much earlier than some of us. so yeah, so yeah, I mean, it was just like it was an amazing experience, and that's why I wanted to do it, is because I love the music so much. I wanted to share it with other people, as I'm sure you can relate, right? Like, I always just like would make mixtapes for friends, like share music with them. And to me, DJing is a similar concept where you're just sharing music with people on a much larger scale, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
always been my passion, like share good music, like with people and the
Yeah.
music that I love. Yeah.
Okay. And so um what was your first DJ? Like, when did you first DJ, and where was that, and how old were you?
So it was actually 11 years ago now. It just became 11 years ago. It
Okay.
was in 2010.
Okay.
I was 26.
Mm-mm.
It was in San Francisco. And that was the first time like I got to DJ for people. Like I finally like there was a point where I wanted to DJ for so many years, but I just didn't really have the confidence to do it. Like, who am I to think that I can do this type deal, But it's like, well, I kept thinking about it so much. Like I would like fantasize about it when I was driving. I was like, I just have to try DJing. And if I don't try, I'm gonna regret it for the rest of my life. So I got like CDJ 200, the DJM 300, a super basic gear. And no one like really taught me, like just standing over me teaching me, but they helped me through Messenger, like do this, do that. And I watched some YouTube videos. Over time, you watch people play, you learn a bit more. So I did 6 months intensive practice in my college apartment. I was in college at the time, and my
Okay.
neighbors hated me because I was like train wrecking, like, playing super loud, and it was like I didn't know how to play in my headphones yet, so it was like all this loud train, and they would call the police on me. Oh my gosh! But but I finally, hey everyone, but I
Hi, I see
finally,
DJ Akasha's on here too. Hi, DJ
hi,
Akasha.
yeah. So yeah, so I finally had that gig like 6 months after, and I was so nervous. Like my hands were shaking so hard. I like train wrecked my first two tracks. I could barely turn the knobs, and I was like, but then finally it's like, oh, just get in and do it and stuff. So, but that first time my hands were shaking so hard. Um, that was I was crazy. But yeah, so that was like kind of the first time, and that was 2010. Yeah.
2010. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I remember. Well, yeah, I kind of remember my first time. It is super nerve wracking. And then so was that was in a club or was that an outdoor?
It's a music venue. So actually, okay, so the first one was an outdoor party on the beach. The second one was an outdoor party on the beach. The third one was at a music venue in San Francisco called the Gingerbread House. It's like yeah, it's a music venue. It's like a bar music venue, and I was opening,
Okay.
and but I didn't know how to play opening set then, so I just came in and played like 145 BPM full on, just like blasting.
Okay.
I just like came in, just like 7 o'clock, just like in the afternoon.
Full
The
on.
promoter was like, that was yeah, a little heavy, but like, first time in the club.
Yeah. Okay. And so then let's go back to your artist name. What's the meaning and how did you come up with the name?
Okay, so when I was a teenager, my screen name was Siamese Cat, and that's spelled Psyamesekat. So Siamese Cat. So if you break it down, Siamese is Thai, right? But I spelled it PSY for Psy trans, obviously, right? So I made it Siamese, and then cat. I loved
Okay.
cat. So Siamese Cat, and it was spelled so uniquely, no one else had that screen name. So when I was thinking of DJ names, you want it to be unique, and it could be kind of difficult because not everyone, like names are taken at this point. It's very hard to find a unique name. So I did Siamese Cat was my first DJ name for the first year, and it was always misspelled on flyers.
Okay.
Nobody could pronounce it. They're like, Saya, like, what the hell does that even say? Like, nobody could even read it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to have to kind of like probably change my DJ name. I better do it now. So I did some research and I was looking at different names and I came across the history of Siamese cats. And I found out that one of the kittens that was given from the Thai king to the British consul, they gave a kitten or two cats and they had three kittens and one of them's name was Chromata, and I was like, I like that name, and I looked it up.
Ah.
Nobody had that name Chromata. The only thing you could find was like the history of Siamese cats, and I said, okay, it was kind of like Siamese cat version meow. I think she said meow. Siamese cat version 2.0, right? So but when I changed my name to Chromata, it was like an instant, like, people could spell it. It was memorable. It was catchy enough. It was short. Nobody else has it. So when you search me on Google, it's like literally just me that like comes up. So it was a great name choice. Like you could see right here, like my name on Instagram is just Chromata. Like nobody else had it. So that's the story behind my DJ name.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, when I first. Huh?
I said hi to my friend Steve. He said the royal cat.
Oh yeah, the royal cat. Yeah, that's cool. My name was cool when I first started. There was nobody, but now there's like loads of them. So
I bet.
yeah. Um, Hi guys.
Now
Well,
you know the story.
you learn something every day, Mark. So you know.
Every day. Amazing.
Oh,
I
funny.
love it.
Okay, and then like as a female coming into the DJ world, how did you find it? Like when you started,
Um,
was it
so
easy? Was it easy peasy Japanesey, or was it a bit?
I mean, when I was like a teenager, it was a lot harder. That's why I probably didn't start then.
Okay.
Yeah, but like by the time I was 26, it seemed more accessible.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually reached out to another female DJ to be my mentor when I first had the idea. I felt more comfortable telling her than like my
Okay.
guy friends, you know. I just wanted to tell her, and she's the one that kind of guided me at the beginning,
Okay.
like encouraging. She's like, "You're gonna be great. You're gonna do good. You're gonna be a great DJ. This is the gear you need and stuff." Like, I didn't even know I needed RCA cables. I was like, I got the gear, and I'm like, I plugged it in. It's not. She's like, you need RCA. I had no idea what I was doing. So anyway,
Yeah.
she kind of helped me. But I feel like at that point it was fine. Like I wasn't really, yeah, thinking that it would be an issue, but
That's good. Yeah, I mean nowadays, I mean now it's like so different, right? For females, Um, I think it's a little bit easier and getting a little bit easier in the trance scene. I know I see for like instance when the techno or house, there's a lot more female DJs. I think so.
yeah, there's a lot more, and I think they're very prominent in their scenes, right? Like I played Electric Daisy Carnival EDC here a couple weeks ago in Las Vegas, which is the biggest electronic music festival in North America. And at the techno stage, like all the biggest dance floors were like for the female artists, like Nina Kravitz, like Charlotte Tilbury, and all that stuff. So like they're really big like techno stars, and
Yeah,
it's interesting to see the females like kind of dominate that scene right now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, okay, and then so you started with CDJs, and I mean, what was? I mean, do you think your style has changed from when you first started? Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely. I started off playing like full on,
yeah.
which I still love and play it too. But I started playing more progressive like 6 or 7 years ago. It's
Okay,
kind of like slowed down. So I definitely started with full on, and I went more progressive. Um, I don't know. I just like it just changed for me. I play a lot of progressive in the full on sets. Like that's kind of my thing is transition sets. I do a lot of opening sets for like artists when they come around to San Francisco and stuff. But I'm actually a label DJ for Iboga Records. I've been with
okay,
them since 2017. So I get a lot of great Iboga music, and yeah, so
okay.
yeah.
So you're with the Boga Records, okay.
Mhm.
Um, and so after your first um DJ, the first time you DJ'd was in San Francisco. Where did you? I mean, where did it go from there? Like, what was after that?
So the San Francisco Bay Area has always been my musical home base. Like I moved to the United States from Thailand in 2002, and I've known the SF Psy scene for like been part. They've seen me grow up since I was a teenager, like going to the parties when I'm 17, 18. They see me grow up all the way till now to what I do now, and like. And so when I started DJing, I played a lot in the Bay Area, like San Francisco, and then I started playing out a bit more in California, like Southern California. And then I started playing out of state, like in the Colorado. I played in Seattle, Washington 4 times now.
Okay,
Um, I've played in New York. I've played in Florida, Las Vegas, Arizona. I already said Florida, right? Yeah. I've played across the U.S., Wisconsin.
okay,
Been to yeah, yeah. So I played all across the U.S. and then after that, I played my first international gig in 2016. Actually, I played in Ukraine. That was
okay,
my first. Yeah, I never thought I'd like ever even go there, and it was like my first international gig. Now it was for an old college friend. Him and his wife had like a joint birthday party, and they wanted me to be their DJ. And of course I'll do it, you know? So I played like a 4 hour set there. I played from like I play other styles too. I don't just play psytrance. So for that, I played like a tech house, into breakbeat, into trance, into psytrance set for them in like 4 hours.
okay.
So that was amazing.
So you
Yes.
play so, huh?
Mark said Ukraine in the chat. And I said, yes, Ukraine.
So how was that experience for you to play in a different country for the first time?
It was amazing. I remember very well driving from like their house to the venue was like the most exciting feeling I ever felt. Like I would look out and I'd be looking at the Kharkiv city landscape. And I'd be like, I'm in this foreign country and I'm about to go DJ for a scene. I have no idea like, what the venue's gonna be like. And it was like so exciting. Just like electricity shooting through you and fear, like, it
Yeah.
was amazing. Yeah, and it was a great party. Like it had a lot of fun.
And 4 hours is nice. I mean, what's the longest set you've played?
Usually, I've played many 4 hour sets. I haven't played much past that, but I've played quite a few 4 hour sets. Like that's
Okay.
kind of like my
Yeah.
like sweet spot of So, but yeah, in public, I haven't played past that.
Okay. And
And
then
then
where else in the world have you played?
yeah, I played in Canada. I played in Vancouver. I played for Rachel. I think she was in the chat earlier. I played at Astro Harvest Festival. And then I played in Mexico. I played in Mexico City. I played Dream State, Mexico there at the Palacio de los Deportes. It was a big stadium, and I was
Okay.
supposed to play at 8 o'clock was my set time, but then like Freedom Fighters couldn't make it, so they bumped me up to midnight. Hi, there she is, Judge Me. And they bumped me up to midnight, like right after Liquid Soul, and I was like, like playing the slot time and Dream State. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. But yeah, so and then I played in Panama like 4 times now. Have you heard of Tribal Gathering? It's a festival that they
Yeah.
have down there. Yep. So I've played there 4 years in a row. That's where I met Mark, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I played there, which is an amazing festival. I love it. I get to go there and meet a lot of people that I wouldn't usually meet because there's artists that go to that party that you don't always see in the United States and stuff. So
Okay.
it's great to go there and meet people. It's a beautiful location and it's just like really great people, great event. And then I played in Denmark. I played at so I told you I'm with the Boga Records. I played so on the 20-year anniversary, they had a hologram show there. And the hologram show was like traveling around the world.
Okay.
So the first time they had it was at the 20-year anniversary in Copenhagen. And it was this really, really amazing party. It was like, who was in the lineup? Gaudium, Ace Ventura, yeah, Math was on it. It was a great night. And I got to play the after party. So the after party was at a club down the street. It was like KB18 or something like that. And it was still raging. Like the after party, there's still like 1,000 people still going crazy. I didn't know that because they don't party like that here, like I didn't know it was gonna be like that. So in my set time, there was still like a huge full dance floor and stuff. So that was an amazing experience to play the after party for the whole festival. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think that's it. Yeah, that's where I play so far. I'd love to like keep playing more internationally. I played in London. Yeah, I played there in January 2020, right before everything shut down. I played at it was Tribal Village at the Steel Yard, which is a really cool club in London.
Okay.
So that was awesome.
Cool. And I mean, so now, I mean, so I guess you've been playing quite a lot recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess you're happy about that because I mean, I guess you had a little bit of a break also with the pandemic stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. So I didn't play any events for about a year and a half. The last one was Tribal Gathering, the one with Mark there. And then I didn't play another event until Mark.
DJ
Hey,
Carl.
great interview last week. I watched the whole thing. So what was I saying?
It's okay, it's all good. Yeah, I was just saying that you've been DJing quite a lot now. And after, and you said you hadn't DJ'd for like about a year.
Oh, yes, yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Until, yes, we are all survivors, Mark's comment, till March 2021. And then things started opening back up in the United States in June and July, like once all the vaccinations were going through. So they started lifting restrictions. Um, so starting from basically June till now, I've been DJing almost every weekend, like sometimes maybe 3 times a month, but lately it's been every weekend.
That's cool.
So
So you're enjoying
yeah,
that?
yeah, it's been amazing. It's been really, really good gigs too. Let's see, I think a couple weeks ago, I opened for Vinny Vici. It was like 1,500 people in San Francisco. That was amazing. That was my third time opening for them. I've opened for them in LA. I opened for them in LA in was it July? That was also 1,500 people. It was like a sold out show. So like really, really big crowds, you know. And then I also played at DC a couple weeks ago, which was really nice. And I played a underground kind of outdoor party in the Mojave Desert on Halloween.
Oh, nice.
It's called Freak Show. That was fun. And then yeah, and then next week I'm playing a show called Dream State. It's my fourth time playing the Southern California party. It's a big trance festival, but they have a big side trance stage. So they have like 4 stages.
Okay.
And this is my fourth time playing the sequence stage. Wonderful lineup on Friday. There's like Asterix, Ace Ventura. They're gonna do an Alpha Portal set.
Nice.
There's Morton Brano, yeah, the Out of Orbit. And then so Saturday is gonna be more like the Altiza night with Benny Vici's label, and they have like Blastoise, Coexist, Animato. So yeah, it's 2 nights of like really, really great psytrance. More on the progressive side, but like I'm really, really, really excited. It's one of my favorite parties of the year. I've brought my mom and dad before to this party, so
Cool.
you know
Yeah.
they like it. Yeah, because they had never seen me DJ before for like 10 years until
really?
I took to yeah, they never saw me play, but I took them to this party and they finally got to see what I do. I had a nice party too. I told them I'm like they're not all like this, you know. It was super cool. Like yeah, they really enjoyed it. So it's a very special event.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to ask, like, have you produced music? Do you produce music? Or have you ever produced music? Or have you also wanted to know if you put any compilations together that have been released? Or
Yeah. So for my compilations, I have 2 that have come out on Iboga. The first one's called Psychedelic Selections Volume 5, which came out in 2020.
okay.
And that hit the Beatport like #1 release for a couple days, actually. It did really well. My second one is Psychedelic Selections Volume 6. It just came out in August. And yeah, that one did well too. So those are the 2 compilations I have out. I have a track out on Free Spirit Records that came out in December 2019. It's actually a Cybreaks track, so it wasn't even like Psytrance. I was gonna have a Psytrance track on there, but because of the style of the compilation, we chose the breaks track. For me, I actually started producing before I started DJing. It was more accessible to me, you know. Like I said, like DJing was kind of hard to like get a hold of turntables or whatever, but I had like on my computer I had Rebirth, and then I had like Fruity Loops, so I was making like drum and bass and Goa trance since high school.
Okay.
But was I ever really good at it? That's the question. Now I know I didn't really like, who knows if I knew what I was doing, right? I was making music, but unfortunately I fell out of that when I started college, and I never. Yeah, and then when I came back to music, it came back as DJing. And when I was DJing, I got so busy DJing and throwing events too. I was an event organizer for many years with Pulse SF and Chromata Nights. I'm going to throw another party next year, actually. But I didn't have a lot of time to really make
okay.
music.
So
it
you were
wasn't
making
until
drum and bass. That's interesting.
Yeah, I was just making a bunch of different styles. I was really, I like drum and bass a lot,
Oh,
but
I love drum and bass. Yeah. Yeah, I
it's
mean,
a great.
well, growing up in Goa, I didn't really listen to it, but when I went back to the UK, I like got into going out clubs and I just loved drum and bass. Thought it was awesome.
It has such a high energy.
Yeah, went to some really good underground drum and bass parties.
Oh, that must have been amazing. In London?
Yeah, in England, yeah. Yeah,
That must have been amazing.
yeah, yeah.
That's so
Um,
cool. But then, so it wasn't until 2018 where I like came back and took producing more seriously. And then I was doing it off and on since then. Right now, I'm working on collabs with a couple friends. My friend Paul London and I just finished a track, and we're gonna looking at working on an EP and stuff like that. So it's definitely there, but I'm definitely known much more as like a traditional DJ, because that's my comfort zone. I'm definitely like a DJ. So
yeah, same with me. I mean,
yeah,
I have done music, but I feel more comfortable DJing, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, or doing DJ mixes, like mix CDs or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and um, I wanted to ask you also, like, I mean, have you got any like stories like that you like? I mean, funny or crazy stories that you could tell us about while you were DJing or at a party? Um, I wonder if you have anything.
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. You know what? I can't think of anything off the top of my head that was like, I mean, there's always like someone who's like really high. Like,
Yeah, well,
you
uh,
know,
yeah, we
but I
get
can't think of,
those everywhere.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. But I can't think of a specific instance where it's like, oh, that's, I should have thought ahead about that. I can't.
no, okay.
No.
Um, okay, and then so you produce it, you produce music, and now you're working on it. You're still working on a track right now, right?
Oh, Mark. Okay, Mark just brought up an idea for me about almost getting locked down in Panama. I guess that's a good
Oh,
story.
oh, yeah.
That's a pretty unique story. Yeah, okay, so I mean, I was thinking more like if someone was doing crazy shit on the dance floor, this is what happened to me. So, as you know, like in Tribal Gathering 2020 we considered it the last festival on earth because the whole world shut down right when the festival started. And like when we got to Panama, there were 0 cases when I landed, and by the time we left, there were like what 20 or something, So it was like starting. The pandemic already hit that country right when we get in there, and so I'm kind of like freaking out a little bit. I'm checking my phone on the jungle Wi-Fi whenever I can, trying to like read what's going on in the world. But at the same time, I'm also trying to enjoy the festival. There apparently was like some sort of stomach bug going around,
Oh, yeah.
and some tropical bug, and everyone caught it, and I was like, I'm probably gonna catch it too. And unfortunately, I caught it right before my set. So yeah, so I was extremely sick during my set. I couldn't finish it. I only played for 1 hour, and I had to have Coral like come on early because she was playing after me. I had to like tap out at 1 hour. It's supposed to be a 2 hour set. I said, I can't play anymore. It was so bad. I ran off stage. I like puked. I went to the medical tent, and I was there the next 8 hours, just like
Oh,
messed up.
God.
So I had to leave the festival early because I couldn't deal with it anymore. I was supposed to leave like on Sunday, but I think I left Saturday, the day before, and Mark was actually leaving at that time too. So we were like one of the last shuttles, I think, to get out of the festival before the military locked it down. So unfortunately, many of our friends were trapped there for like 10
Oh,
days.
wow.
We barely escaped, yeah. So we got out of there, and like we were at our nice little 4-star hotel until like our flights left over the next days. But yeah, but that was a pretty crazy experience. And then by the time I got home, it was just like pandemic lockdown for the next year and a half.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
crazy.
well, that kind of sucks that you were sick during your set.
It was horrible. It was so bad. I've never like I was trying so I was trying so hard to DJ. I was like finish. I was like, you gotta finish your set, you gotta be professional. And then halfway through I was like, I'm dying. Like I need to get off the stage right now. I literally could not continue. I'm done. I had to tap out. I was like, I'm out. Coral, please come. I can't do
Uh,
this. Like
that
so
sucks.
sick. So sick. I hadn't been that sick like since I lived in the tropics, you know, like since I lived in Thailand, like getting one of those bugs. I mean, oh, that was bad.
That's bad. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like ask you like what I mean, what does it mean to you like being a DJ, and what I mean, you know, yeah, what does it mean to you? Like, I mean, how do you feel when you're, you know, up DJing? Like, what, you know what I mean?
No. What do you mean? Like, okay, okay, so like, what does DJing mean to me?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Like,
I take it as a privilege and an honor, you know, to like I really do. It's such a special gift. Like honestly, like I'm doing what I wanted to do since I was like a kid. I'm kind of like living my lifelong dream, and I take it like eh, I I have a role of like making people happy. Like in a way, I'm that type of person that kind of wants to be like a healer or make people happy. So DJing's the perfect thing for that, you know? Like
yeah,
making people who have a hard 9 to 5 have shit going on in their lives that are like difficult, and they want to get on the dance floor and like lose their minds for a couple hours and like experience that feeling, that joy of like dancing ecstatically and having an amazing time. Like that's why we're alive, you know, like you got to have moments like that. And I just love that I can do that for people. Like
mm-hmm.
that's just so important to me, and it's just like it's such a gift, you know. And it's like to be able to do that, like it's actually it's a really good thing. And I just love being able to like share the love, and that's important to me also too. As like someone, it's also I want to be like I don't good role model is kind of the wrong term, but I want to be like someone like where people are like, you know, she's what did he say? She's I was reading their little chat messages in there. Someone like, she's like she was able to like follow her dreams and do what she loves kind of thing, and like maybe like inspire people that they have can do
Yeah,
that, whether whatever it is it music, is it like art, like our lives here on this planet are so short and finite. It's like if you're not even making an attempt to live your life, I'm not saying you have to like completely follow your dream, but to at least give it a chance.
yeah.
I
Well,
think
it's
that's
always good to give it a try, right?
yeah. It's
Yeah,
just like you just have to. You just have to give it a shot.
yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to read. Can you? I guess
Yeah,
you're
it
reading
goes
the
by
comment too.
too fast.
Hmm?
Messages go by fast. Yes.
Yeah, I know. Um, okay, and so what's so now like I mean, what's your like future plans like in the next like I don't know like so you got gigs coming up and then you're gonna be I mean you want to kind of pursue making some music too like psytrance music or
Yeah.
different types of music or like you know
Psytrance.
psytrance.
Yeah.
Okay, and what would you release that on the label that you're with right now?
I mean, that would be great. I'm not gonna like. Just because I'm their label DJ, it doesn't mean they have to like release my music. If it fits, I would love for that. I would love to like have music that resonates with my
Yeah.
label bosses. So of course, and that's definitely the style I play. It's also the style I like, so it would be appropriate. But I would like to get to the level where that's gonna
Okay.
happen.
And
Yeah.
what's your highest BPM that you go to?
148.
148.
I can't, when I hit 150, I'm like, I'm out. I can't do it. Now, that's with like trance. With drum and bass, it's like at 175, you know? But
Yeah.
I have like a couple high tech tracks that I can handle it for about a couple minutes. That's about it.
Yeah.
So fast.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I 148. I kind of top out there. I've played sets at 148 before, like at the, you know, at certain times of night. I prefer to play at like 138, 140. It's kind of my sweet spot, like these days.
Okay.
Um,
And
yeah.
before you you know, what's your routine before you're going to be DJing somewhere? How do you prepare? And you know, do you still get like nervous or anxious before you DJ, or not really? Or
Um, with routine, do you mean like how I prepare the music and stuff, or just like,
sorry?
what do you mean with the routine? Like how I
Like, yeah,
prepare my.
yeah. How do you prepare? Like before you're going to DJ, do you have like sets? Like, do you have stuff that you know you're going to start with? And
Okay. So when I first started DJing, I like planned out all my sets. But then as the years went on, I started like freestyling more.
okay.
And I actually prefer to freestyle. Like that's I really like go back and forth with the crowd, you know? Like I feel like how can I plan a set and then I go to the gig and it's not how I imagined it at all. And now I have to play this set that's gonna fall flat on its face, you know? That's how I feel. Like as a producer, yes, but as a DJ, I should be able to adapt, right?
Yeah.
So but right now my sweet spot is that I like to have basically a freestyle set, but have an idea of where I want to start, where I want to end, no tracks that go well together, and just like kind of play from there. So more of a loose kind of, you know, like structure to it. Or sometimes it turns into a true freestyle, like the party I played in the desert a couple weeks ago, which is 2 hours like freestyle set. Like, you know, that's just going, seeing what goes with the crowd, what makes them go, and like what I want to play too. Like I have this track that I should play. So some parties though I will like plan a set for, and that's kind of maybe the bigger ones where I have like 1 hour and it has to be like 1 hour on the dot and
On the
stuff.
dot, yeah.
Yeah, if there's like some like really complicated transitions I want to do, like I want to like go over that first or something. So, but generally my preferred style is freestyling. Yeah.
Okay.
And you asked, do I get nervous? So when I first started DJing, I used to get really nervous, like get sick. And I know a lot of people can relate to this. I would get like such horrible anxiety. But for me, like the second I get on stage, it disappears. It just goes away. People are like, after the first transition, I'm like, no, it's gone before that. It's like the second I get on stage, it's gone. But it's the moments leading up to it where it's like horrible. But this day and age, to be honest, it's not that bad. I mean, it's still like depending on the gig. Like if it's a really big gig, like okay, at EDC, I was actually like, it was really intense because it's a huge festival, and there was like, oh, Mark says he's always nervous, and I was like super nervous for that. I was like pacing around in my trailer and like doing jumping jacks and stretches, and I was like, I didn't know it'll be like calm or like jumping around, so I got super nervous. But yeah, no matter what, I always have some sort of nervousness,
I'm
and
like
I
you,
think
Mark. Mark and I are the same. Till this day, I've been DJing for I don't know how long, but till this day, I still get nervous.
yeah, and I don't think it's because you care. Like if it goes away, it means you don't. Best set of EDC in my opinion. Oh, thank you, thank you, very sweet. And it's just like, you know, I definitely get nervous, but there's like different levels of nervousness. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's super intense, sometimes it's like general nervousness. But at a certain point, it's like when you're doing it every weekend, and it's kind of like I know what I'm doing. I still get nervous before I play in front of people, but I'm not nervous like when I first started DJing because my technical skills weren't. Yeah, see, Coral gets it. My technical skills weren't what they are now. You know, now I'm pretty confident I'm not going to do a bunch of train wrecks, you know? It's like, I know this is going to be a smooth set. But the part that's nerve-wracking is, oh, I'm going to be performing in front of a lot of people, right? So, oh, what if they don't like my music? What if I play a bad set? You know, you just like psyching yourself out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you just like, you like, obviously you're through your, I mean, your every set you just beat mix?
That's the majority of the transitions I do. Sometimes there's fade mixes, you know, but most of the time I'm beat matching. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. But I do mix it up in like depending, you know,
Okay.
depending
And
on.
who, can I ask who are some of your favorite artists, or you prefer not to say?
Oh, of course I didn't say. I have so many. There's so many. I mean, like I have some from back in time, have some current and stuff. Currently, some of my favorite artists, like in the progressive realm, are Sphera. He's an amazing producer from Israel on the Boga. Fanatic's really good. Um, my Boga brothers are amazing. Ace Ventura, Gaudium, Ritmo. Um, there's some new ones that are really good. Asgard, he just came out with the EP on Naboga that was like stunning. It was like his first EP and it was solid. Like I opened to one of those tracks at EDC. It was so good. Um, let's see. I love Asterix. I was always a huge Asterix fan. I got to close after him in San Francisco before. That was really cool. Um, let's see what else. I love a lot of stuff on Tesseract, you know, the Serbian label. That's a great, like, you know, driving melodic progressive. I like Tech Safari. I like Iono. Like, I'm just naming labels now because there's so many. Like the artists on those labels, you know, it gives you a Nano. Always a big Nano fan. Sacred Technology.
Oh, it froze. Mara is frozen. Hello. Am I frozen too? I don't know what's going on. Hello. Oh, she left. Sorry about this, guys. Let me see if we can get her back. Oh, I'm not frozen. Sweet. Oh, there
Looks
you
like
are.
we got disconnected.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what happened? I was like,
I know.
huh?
I said, I don't know. Something happened. We got disconnected. But I was gonna give a shout out to my friend DJ Paradigm, his label Sculpted Sounds. It's a US label. He releases a lot of US full-on artists, so that's also another great label to check out and support. And yeah, oh gosh, there's like I have a pretty wide range in taste. Like I never really got like super into dark side or anything like that. Like I can listen to it at a party, but it's not like something I explore or like really get into. I definitely prefer like the lighter side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. I mean, especially at parties too, I can enjoy a lot of different types of styles. So yeah.
Okay. And do you find? I mean, is there? I like to ask this question. I mean, it's kind of a bit tricky, but I mean, since you started, which is what, like 10 years? You've been DJing 11 years, did you say?
11, yeah.
How's the scene changed for you?
Um, Gosh, that is a tricky question. Because I can think specifically like the global scene. I could think the San Francisco scene. I can think the U.S. scene. I can think the California scene. You know, it's all kind of a little bit of a different answer.
So what
But the
about?
best.
So what about then
Mhm.
for you? Because I mean, I guess let's say for you, like in the States, then.
Oh gosh. Well, things the scenes have changed in like the cities. I mean, things come and go, promoters come and go, things change. For me, I used to have a more active role in throwing events. Like I was event organizer with Pulse SF, and we threw a lot of really amazing psytrance parties. Brought in tons of international artists, like throwing really great parties.
Okay.
I also had my own event called Chromata Nights. I hosted it at a club called F8 in San Francisco. More intimate club. It'd be about 300 people or so, but always a great time. Did
Yeah.
really well. So like as an event promoter, and then also right now I'm just kind of like only just DJing too, so it's a bit of a different like experience.
Yeah.
Especially like after the pandemic, like the scenes are trying to build back right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so it's kind of because it kills like a lot of stuff. So it's kind of I think right now the San Francisco scene is like trying to like start coming back. I'm looking at throwing some events next year.
Okay.
And yeah, so really just kind of like working on trying to help build the scene back because it's not what it used to be,
Used to be.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. For me, it's so hard to say because it's like I don't know. The things have changed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, everything changes. I guess even music changes.
Yeah.
Right? The music has changed a lot as well over the years.
Mhm.
Um, and so, what? So you, when you're out like DJing, you like you were saying, you play different styles. Do you play different styles out too? Like, I mean, do you do like do you play techno?
I don't really play techno. I play more like progressive house.
House? So you play
Yeah.
house out as well? You DJ house too?
Yeah, I guess there's like some of it's melodic techno. You know, it's kind of like blurred boundaries right now. But when I don't play psytrance sets, I used to play a lot of side breaks and break beats. So
Okay.
yeah, I've done that. I've done some drum and bass. I've also done, like I said, progressive house, melodic techno. So I've played some festivals playing house sets, you know, and I do like that. I do like to like change it up because I'm known as a psytrance DJ. I love psytrance, but sometimes it's fun just to play different genres, you know. So I also play like, you know, I'll also play like a chill set at a festival, like a side up set. I play a lot of
Okay.
side up, some side bass and stuff. So like some side chill stuff like that too. So I'm really into that type of music too.
Cool.
You know.
Ah. And I mean, where where in the world would you love to play, or festival that you would, one day hope to play at?
I was supposed to play at Noisily Festival in the UK before the pandemic hit. So that I was so excited about that because that was one of my top festivals I wanted to play.
Okay.
Hopefully they'll bring me back in 2022. Hey guys. So we'll see if that happens. But I know things change, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I would love to play more like European festivals too. Like like obviously like Azora and stuff like that. Boom would be amazing. Like there's so many wonderful, wonderful festivals. Those are just the big ones. But you know,
Okay.
they, like, I could name like a festival in every country. You know, like Rainbow Serpent. You know, you want to do like Universal Parallel in Brazil. You know, it's just like there's so many that I would love to experience, and just like, it would be amazing.
I wanted to ask you also, like, the famous question. What about India? Have you ever been, or would you want to ever go?
I would love to go. I've never been, but I did spend time in Koh Phangan in Thailand,
Okay.
and so I mean, I don't want to. It's the beach like Thailand vibe, but I would love to go to Goa like as a pilgrimage too, for sure. Like that would just be definitely on the bucket list. So yes, I would love to go. Yes, I would love to experience it. I mean, did you grow up there though, like in your teenage years, and then started DJing there?
Yeah, my mom went to India when I was super young. So yeah, I was there half my life pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, I left, I think the first time I left Goa to come back, well, to go to England, I think I was about 13 or 14. And I hated it, so I went back to India. I think it was a little bit too much of a shock for me,
Yeah.
because I was so used to living in I don't know, that different world. And yeah,
It's a big difference.
coming back to Europe as a teenager, I think was a little bit too much for me.
Understandable. When I moved from Thailand to live in the US and I was a teenager, it was a big shock. It was a culture shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like I was considered a local, like a Goan, like I spoke the language. So, you know, I also had this, like, I was speaking pidgin English, and for me it was just, I don't know, I felt like very out, you know, yeah, I don't know, it was weird. But yeah, I mean, I you know, obviously I've been going to parties from a young age, and you know, I was always into music, and I was doing the same thing. I was just making tapes from a young age, but not with mixes or anything, because I didn't have any of that stuff, you know. It was just simple tape, pause, play, and recording, and putting tapes together for people, and that's kind of how I started. Yeah. So
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, traveled all over the world from a young age, but yeah, Goa was like my home kind of thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, Goa's changed a lot. I hadn't been for like 11 years, and I went back 2 years ago, and I was like a bit in shock.
Wow.
Yeah.
It changed that much, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, everywhere changes, of course, but you know, when you haven't been when you grew up in a place and then you hadn't, like, it's the first time I had been away from, you know, for 11 years. Normally I was there like all the time or going every year, right? So not going there for 11 years, going back, yeah, it was a big shock for me.
I bet.
Yeah. 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 So, but yeah, hopefully you get to go there one day and experience it.
I would love that.
Yeah. And you know, get to go to Portugal to the Boom Festival, or maybe ZNA, I don't know. You know, ZNA is pretty nice. It's like old school sound.
Yeah, Mark speaks highly of it.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed it because I like listening to all of that old school music too. So it was nice. Yeah.
That's cool that a festival is like dedicated to that sound, you know, like that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And what I mean, I was also going to ask, like, do you have like any events over in the States with all female DJs? Like,
Sometimes not like big ones. It'll just be like club events, you know. I've thrown one before, but for me, it was important to never say that like it's all female DJs, because I have a thing where like I could feel like I could be a little too gimmicky. Like people, like you have to look at like, why is the promoter doing this? Why are they saying all female DJs? Are they doing it as like a gimmick, or is it a platform for the women to like show their talents? Or is it like sexy ladies night? Like, what is this, right? Like, so for me, I wanted to kind of normalize it. So I never sold it as like an all female lineup, but I was like, this is the lineup. You can obviously see they're all women, but you know, like, let's just have this party and they're gonna like be able to showcase their talents, their skills, and like what they're made of, you know? But there are definitely like all female parties. I did play one, and my friends, they had really good intentions, but their wording wasn't right on their like the event description, so I had to talk to them about it to like make it a little less gimmicky, and they were open to that. They were very receptive.
okay.
But yeah, so it just it's very specific. Like it can't be gimmicky for me, or it just ruins everything, you know? Like, yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi guys. Hi. There's still people coming in and out here saying hi. Is there any messages here that you want to answer? I don't know, because there's been so many messages that I
know I haven't been able to keep up with them all because it's such a small window on the screen. But I just want to say, hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. That's super cool, and yeah.
Set time yet for dream stage yet. Somebody's.
Oh, they're gonna release the set times next week.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But early.
Huh?
Early, yeah, yeah.
Early? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So your next gig is when? Next week?
Next weekend, yeah, dream state.
Okay. We'll have a killer time there.
Thank you. Thank you
I'm
so
sure
much.
you will, and I'm sure we'll see
Yeah.
your pictures and posts on it.
Yep,
And
yep.
yeah, and I wish you all the best for your future. I mean, I'm happy to see that you're like, you know, working every week, which is nice. Um, and yeah, we'll looking forward to. Also, I wanted to ask for people who maybe don't know you, your platforms. Where are we going to find all your stuff?
Absolutely. So I'm one of like the few chromatas. So obviously here on Instagram, it's Khromata, KHROMATA. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Khromata, soundcloud.com/Khromata. I don't really use Twitter, but I'm on there too if you want to go look. And then, yeah, everything basically Khromata. On Twitch, it's DJ Khromata, but I have Khromata for everything else. So please feel free to follow
Okay.
me there and keep up with me.
Okay, and then you put how often do you put mixes up on SoundCloud?
I used to put them up really often. I have like 60 side trance mixes up there, and that's not even including the other genres.
Oh, really? Okay.
Um, yeah, I have a lot of DJ sets on SoundCloud. I used to upload like 16 a year, you know. Now not as frequently.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Carter. But yeah, I upload them maybe like 5, 6 times a year now, but I still do upload them, but not like I used to.
Okay. And your
I don't
just to double check, your compilations are on what label?
Big
On
Volga Records.
okay.
Hmm.
Okay. All
So
right.
Psychedelic Collections, Volume 5 and 6.
Volume 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you when you finish your like any of the music that you're producing, will you put that up on SoundCloud too or not? Or maybe in a
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah. I have some on there right now. Yeah, but yeah, it'll be on SoundCloud.
Okay. Oh, you have some tracks that you made already up on SoundCloud? Okay. Cool. I will check them out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And well, I know that you have another interview coming up, so I
Mm-hmm.
won't keep you for much longer. Thank you so much for coming and having a chat with me here.
Thank you so much for having me. I was so excited. I've been watching your show like in all of 2020. I was always so excited to watch all your interviews. You've done such a wonderful job highlighting different psytrance artists, and I love that you're also like focusing on women too, and like you're doing a wonderful job with your show. So thank you for having me on
Oh,
it.
thank you. Yeah, it's just yeah, a little thing I wanted to do, and I wanted to like introduce some of the people from back in the time that a lot of people forgot about, kind of, and and
Yep.
now I'm like moving forward with yeah, getting some of the newer ones forward and the known ones. So yeah.
It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, let's see how long I can keep it up for. But yeah, it's been fun. It's it's always been my interest, to like find out like, where they've come from, how they've started, and so yeah, we all have our
Thank
own
you for
stories to
having me.
tell. So well, yeah, and thank you everybody who's been tuning in, and sending everybody love and good vibes, and to you too, and have an amazing gig next week.
Thank you. Thank you, Domino. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks. Take care, and maybe we'll meet one day face to face. You never know.
I would love that. I can't wait for the day.
All right. Take
Yeah.
care. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.